Hello, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today I'm doing another book diary, and this one is for The Beast Player by Nahoko Uehashi. It's not how you say that name, but we're just going to roll with it. You are about to see some vlog clips in my traditional book diary style of me reading The Beast Player by this author whose name I keep meaning to look up and I never do. I'm just recording this little clip to tack onto the beginning to let you know that if you don't want to watch the vlog bits, like, this is completely non-spoiler. I did that so it would be accessible to everyone and you can all enjoy it and find out about this wonderful book. However, if you just want to see a more formal, I don't really do formal, but if you want to see like a more traditional review, I'll have a timestamp linked in the description box below so you can skip all the vlog stuff and just get to that review. I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. I'm going to try and keep this minimum spoilers because I know not a lot of people have read this book, so we're going to try and go like zero spoilers. I'm just going to do like what the writing style is and all that jazz instead of going hardcore into spoilers. We will see how the vlog turns out. I might just edit all of this out, but we'll see. So this book is a young adult fantasy and it is about a girl who is the daughter of a woman who looks after these giant warrior snakes. One day a lot of the snakes turn up dead and her mother is sentenced to death. So she sends her daughter away so she can't be punished for it as well. I'm guessing that's where the story takes off. I'm 29 pages in so far. I really love it. It's set in Japan. It's a Japanese translation. It's playing out in my mind like a Studio Ghibli film. And I'm really loving the imagery that this is giving me. The writing is very straightforward, but that doesn't make it any less imaginative so far. I'm having no problem picturing things. I'm really loving learning about the law, which I think is something that I do really enjoy when reading translated books or books from other cultures, because everything feels so much more new and exciting. The majority of fantasy that we read is based in some sort of mythology anyway, but if you have like a different cultural book or a translated book, then it is a different set of myths than we are familiar with, so it feels a lot fresher and a lot more new. But that's all I have to say on this so far. I'm going to be reading some more of it tonight, hopefully, and I will fill you in along the way on my thoughts on this beautiful covered book. I've just got to chapter 2 of The Beast Player. I'm on page 83 and the beekeeper is so cute. I'm imagining him like this guy who's friends with my dad, which sounds really weird, but he's like an old guy and he has like a big white fluffy beard and he's really cute, so that's how I imagine him. I think he's called like Joan. He's like the sweetest old man ever. So I was doing some research into The Beast Player because, like I said, it doesn't look like it's promising for a translation for the second book because it doesn't seem to be very popular in its English translation. Not many people have read it. I'm hoping to change that because it's really good so far. But I was doing some research and I can't find anything on the second book. But what I did find out from the Wikipedia page is that the main character is called Erin. Now, in the book that I'm reading, she's called Elin. But like I said, it's misprinted on the back as Erin. But I think they might, like, it seems like they've actually misprinted her main name throughout the entirety of the book, which is worse than misprinting it on the back. Like, I don't know which is worse, because if you look at the back, then that's like your first impression, that's like the artwork of the book. But then inside, that's so many times to misprint it, like what went wrong. So if anybody knows anything about that, then fill me in, maybe, on why it's like that. I don't think she changed the name at any point in the book. I did flick about halfway through and she's still called Elin, so we'll see. The only other thing I have to update on right now is that she's now 14, so it does seem like it will be a YA book. It took 150 pages for us to get to 14, but I believe there's also another time jump where she turns to 18, so it is looking more like YA. There was something a little bit gruesome as well that made me think maybe this isn't as suitable for children as I thought, but so far I'm loving it. I've read about 30 to 40 pages today and I'm gonna go in and read a little bit more before I get some sleep. There's something that I seriously underlooked when starting The Beast Player, and that is that this is a book about animals, and I love animals. I love them. Like, you all know I do. You've seen how many pets I've got. But I'm scared because there's something's going to happen to the animals. We've met the royal beast now, which is what's depicted on the front cover. The wolf is actually like a big sort of winged furry creature, and they protect the royalty in the storyline. And there's sanctuaries where the ill ones go to be looked after, and our main character has made her way there. And she's looking after one of them, and she's grown quite close to it because it's a cute little animal. However, this has like political impact. It's sort of being debated about what's going to happen with this, and I completely forgot, as I always do, that maybe something bad's going to happen to the animals, and that scares me a little bit. There's something like really magical about Japanese storytelling. I felt the same way when I read The Wind-Up Bird by Haruki Murakami. It's the same when watching a Studio Ghibli film. There's just something very unique and very magical about the way that the Japanese tell the stories. They don't rush things. Like, things can go quite slowly. And I feel like there's a great deal of patience in Japanese storytelling, where you have to respect the speed that the story is told. I'm not like hugely knowledgeable about Japanese storytelling. My sort of expertise goes from Final Fantasy X, which is like my favourite game of all time because the story is just beautiful. The one Haruki Murakami book I've read, and the Studio Ghibli movies, which I absolutely love. But I just feel like there's something so slow about it and beautiful. And I've never read something that's Japanese or experienced any story that's Japanese that's like rushed and action-packed. It's all very atmospheric and beautiful and imaginative, and that's what I really like about Japanese storytelling. If you guys can recommend me any Japanese translations, I have a few Murakami books that I haven't read yet, but maybe something that's like The Beast Player, that's not like a children's story but more of like a magical story, because Murakami's very magical realism. It's very like, it's pretty realistic. But any like Japanese fantasy novels, specifically novels as well, because I'm not hugely into manga. Because the problem that I had with graphic novels is like sometimes not liking the art. And manga's black and white, which is why I've never wanted to delve into manga. I may at some point, but I'm not like, it's not a huge priority. But if you can recommend any Japanese translated novels, then I would really appreciate that. So this book is so beautiful, but I'm getting scared to read it, because it has animals in, and there's been like warnings from people about certain things, and I know that it's got to get sad at some point because it's got animals in. It's got to get sad, and I'm really scared. This book is over 500 pages, and I'm on page 374, and I think we have some romance blooming, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. So I finished The Beast Player by... I didn't look up how to say the name. It's something like no, I'm not going to try. I finished The Beast Player. I gave it 5 stars. Really, really loved this. It is similar to any sort of Japanese storytelling that I've ever consumed. It is very beautiful. It's very picturesque, but it is quite slow. You follow Elin from the age of 10 through to 18. And there's like quite a big chunk on things that don't necessarily, well, they do matter to the plot, but they could have been condensed. So it definitely requires patience, but it is a really good book and I would really recommend it. It also carries an important message about animals that you can transfer to the real world. So me as an animal lover, even though realistically I know that it's not good, in an ideal world I would live in the woods with like leopards and wolves and owls as my pets, but you shouldn't do that to wild animals, and it carries an important message about how wildlife should be left alone, and even though humans can train and manipulate animals to do their bidding, they shouldn't necessarily do it. I'm going out on a limb here because I haven't actually read this book, but I know that a lot of people who have read The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi really loved that book, because it is a sort of, not a typical, but it follows a pretty well-known fantasy YA structure. However, it uses a completely different culture, which brings a new, fresh twist onto it. I would say that this is the Japanese version of that. The Children of Blood and Bone is African. This is the same in like a Japanese setting. It's a Japanese young adult fantasy. It is definitely young adult. As we get towards the end, there's like a little bit of a gory bit. I would also recommend this to people who are looking for a book without romance. There is no romance in this. You will have seen in a vlog clip earlier on that I said that there were maybe like the seeds of a romance, and yes there were, but romance is not central to this plot at all. There is little to know. There's no romance. There's an inkling of maybe a romantic relationship progressing in the further books, but included in this book there is nothing. Given the writing style and the topics of this book, I don't think even in the rest of the series that the romance will be at the forefront. So I know a lot of you guys, like, I love romantic fantasy, but I know a lot of you guys are sick of young adult fantasies focusing on the romance. So if you are looking for a non-romantic young adult fantasy, then this is also the book for you. If you love Studio Ghibli, if you love anime, then this is the book for you. If you like the Japanese culture and Japanese storytelling, you will love this book. It demonstrates great relationships between people as well. There's a good father-daughter relationship in this. There is also a good teacher-student relationship. Friendship is a little bit underdeveloped, I feel, but our main character has a really deep emotional connection to the royal beast and the sort of elder figures that she encounters. So she has a teacher figure and a father figure, and those relationships are really strong. The relationship that she develops with the animal in question is beautiful. As humans, we have a tendency to anthropomorphalize. There is a word there and I can't remember the exact word, but where you project human emotion onto animals, and I do it all the time. Like, I have full-blown conversations with my dog, but this girl loves her animal. She loves it, she adores it, she wants all these great things for it. She wants it to be free, to be able to fly around and experience life as it would. However, that's dangerous, it's unrealistic. She wants to be close to it, she wants to treat it as a baby, as we do with our animals, but it's a dangerous animal and she can't. And there's this very, like, emotional, really well done struggle between her head and her heart as she wants to treat this like a pet, but it's a dangerous wild animal, and between what she wants to do and what she should, not just for her own safety but for the good of the animal, I thought was excellent. So this is extremely underhyped. It is getting a US release on the 19th of March. However, I'm pretty sure that you can buy the paperback and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful paperback. I'm pretty sure you can get it on Book Depository. I'm going to look into that for you, and I will put some sort of international free shipping source, maybe Wordery or Book Depository, down in the description box so you can check this out and buy it if you are in the US and you want it, because I have seen the US cover and I prefer this one, even though it's paperback. So while it is going to be released in the US in March, you will probably be able to get hold of it before then if you want to read it. Like I said, I'll pop a link in the description box if I can find a international link for you guys. But that is all I have for this book. I really enjoyed it. 5 stars. I think a lot of you guys will love it too if it was on your radar. So please let me know if you're going to pick up this book. Please let me know if you have and you've read it, because it was just so beautiful, so wonderful, and I can't wait for a sequel. I'm just desperate. It was unlike anything I've ever read. Because it is an Eastern story, there's a lot more innocence and not as many tropes as we typically see in young adult literature. So it was just a breath of fresh air and I absolutely adored it, and I hope you guys do too. So that is everything for this book diary and review. I hope you have liked it. Please don't forget to like it if you did like it, and subscribe if you want to. I'm not going to do the rest of my stuff because this is more of an informal video, as you know how these things normally go. But I will see you guys in my next book diary / review, which will be The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you're let go when nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.